What a transition. We go from the monumental to the tangible to the rooted. The visual style changes from painterly to something a little bit more animatic. You can almost feel the humanity more because of that. He is now passing on that flower, that tether, as if it's going to the next generation beyond him. He's passing on the torch, and then he sees the next generation. Today I'm watching, reacting to, and breaking down the cinematic language of Here, Tomorrow, Spirit Blossom Beyond, 2025 Season 2 Cinematic League of Legends. We have a deep playlist of League of Legends videos that we've broken down. I'm always curious what characters it's going to feature with League, because the cast is so huge. I myself love Arcane, have watched Arcane like I'm sure a lot of people have now, so I'm familiar with some of the cast, but I'm curious about this one, and of course they always deliver a good music video, so let's check it out. If you enjoy our time together, make sure to check out my other League of Legends videos and my other cinematic breakdowns. All right, League of Legends lore masters, let's do it. It's been a minute since we did a League one. The Arcane reviews were fun to do though. Ooh, I really like how they give him the feeling of wind here. Very naturalistic. Force. Beautiful transition. Yeah, they're using color really, really cleverly. Ooh, that's so soothing. I absolutely love it so far. There's a clarity to the vocal quality, which makes me feel like this is something whimsical, like a childhood feel. It almost feels Miyazaki, I should say Studio Ghibli Miyazaki, not FromSoft Miyazaki, good gracious me. But yeah, look at this. There's a beautiful transition here. I love how the color changes. And we have this establishing moment. Starting with this character, there's the significance of these flowers and the wind blowing them. This character opens their eyes. Clearly an important moment and important imagery. So I want to keep this in our minds as we keep watching. It's probably going to have some really symbolic significance. So let's check it out. What I like next is, this is clearly some significant moment for this character. And she put this sort of would-be message in a bottle down the river, right? So from there, we get this beautiful transition as the flower falls seemingly into another world. As it transitions up, and we get this beautiful transition. If we go frame by frame, I mean, look at that. It's so smooth. It's so beautiful. You didn't have that little bit, that one frame. If you've ever seen like GoPro underwater footage or anything like that, which is really fun to shoot. If you haven't, you have this kind of mark across the lens, which is nice. It brings a kind of a very rooted feeling to this, very tangible feeling to this, as if we're in the water ourselves. So let's check it out. Now we're in a different place. The colors completely change from this feeling of, twilight and mysterious, almost magical, to something a little bit more rooted, even though it's still clearly some sort of fantastical world. And then the vocals come in. Soothing. And I love that the vocals are kind of taking us, and it feels like a journey. You're really focusing on how far this flower has come. So I could picture time passing for this character. Maybe it really is something that happened long ago and it's symbolic of that. But I love how the vocals kind of carry it on. And as we come from the left to the right of the frame with this image, listen to these vocals. So well done. I love this monumental statue. What a transition. We go from the monumental to the tangible to the rooted. Wow. And as the visual style changes from painterly to something a little bit more animatic and animated and hand-drawn, you can almost feel the humanity more because of that. Do you see what I mean? So check it out. Right here we have this humongous monumental statue, which is what we call statues when they were made in the high classical period of Greece. Bigger than a human would be. So this massive statue, and look at the painterly quality to the image, and by that I mean the background painting. So beautiful. And then we come to this, and it's the person jumping into that pose. So it's like this beautiful kind of flashback into time, who I assume, because look at the statue, this person's long gone. There's flowers growing up. It could be someone from the deep past. And it's almost like, it makes me think like Final Fantasy VII, like a world which nature has taken back after all the stuff, like many, many, many hundreds of years after a lot of stuff has happened. But then I love how she goes into a similar pose that the statue is in. Isn't that so cool? And this kinetic feeling of her moving across the frame from left to right, circling around. And there it is. Ah, that was the pose. Oh man, the song is so soothing, but that percussion just adds a bit of an epic feel to it. And I mean epic in the sense of like an epic poem, you know, it's just kind of this beautiful feeling coming from the statue, seeing the deeds. Now we're back to this painterly view. We keep kind of going through layers in this, starting with the first, we talked about with the purple analogous colors, and now we're in this very rooted lighting during the day. Oh, another great transition. And we're using the flower as our tether through all these layers of moments. And it's going to be the connective tissue between all these characters. I think it's beautiful. Wow. What a shot. That was really well done, yeah. I mean, that just takes your breath away. That's beautiful. We got to talk about it before I forget. Look at this beautiful moment. I mean, this shot is enough to take your breath away as it is, right? But then check out what happens here. He drops it, right? So look at this. This flower it's signifying he is now passing on that flower, that tether. As it lands on the eye, we transition to another eye. Like, it's a beautiful moment. Such a great storyboarding and an edit. Oh man. This makes you want to get out and shoot. And now the song's evolved to another layer of sound with that percussion. And it's just so rich now. Another connection, another character. And they're so good at animating wind. So tangible and visceral. Look. Wow. Okay. It's still, I thought that was the end. It's so good. I was like, that has to be the end. It's already like too amazing. So what I love about this is we have this transition to another character. I'm not familiar with this character. I do recognize the guy with the long hair. He was a gentleman who in one of the videos had a katana, I believe. I could be wrong on that. He like summoned a tornado. What I love about this is there's this really cool moment of reflection here. Check this out. He sees the petals flowing out as if it's going to the next generation beyond him. He's passing on the torch. And then he sees the next generation looking up at him. And it's the same eyes that were reflected in the flower hitting the dragon eyes. So there's just so much connective imagery, connective tissue throughout this whole thing. But look at that. It's a nice little moment and it's subtle. And it kind of hits him like, whoa, you know, this all goes far beyond me, goes far beyond my time. It's going to continue on, my legacy. It's like, whoa, really powerful. And it's all without words. And we got to go back to this just explosion of sound here. Again, focusing on the eyes, the transition. Again, that repetition of imagery of the eyes connecting all these heroes. I am not familiar with this character. They're so cool though. Wow. Oh, so good. Oh, we're going back through all the layers now. We're coming back up through all the layers that we went through. Yep, I knew it. We're going to come back to her. Oh, that's so beautiful to bring it full circle, man. And that's it. That's the original. That's the original. It's all connected. Whoa. I don't know if it's over. Okay. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. Is this League Season 2? I feel like there are a few seasons deeper than 2. Correct me on that, chat. Look, we got Mel over here. Man, that was fantastic. So, okay, a question for the lore masters. This is clearly a different region than Noxus, right? Which we heard about and we saw in the sort of preview for the next part of Arcane or whatever show it's going to be, with Mel going home. this is something we've not seen in Arcane or even mentioned, right? Unless I'm crazy, unless there's like a throwaway comment about it in a scene. But let's look at a couple more of these shots. There's a couple of comments I want to make. Make sure to subscribe if you want to spend more time together and go over more cinematic breakdowns. I have so much fun doing them. And we got a lot of League of Legends videos if you want to go through the catalog. So I think I'm caught up on most of the League cinematics though. And for the regulars here who are in the chat, in the comments, let me know if I missed any, because I love doing these videos. But there's a couple of moments I want to touch on. I love how it comes full circle. Let's go back and revisit it. So yeah, right at the beginning, we have this, which she places, and it's interesting that it goes to this sort of other world. Like, what is this place? It's floating. It could just be nighttime. But again, these analogous colors. And when I say that, we have the purples, the deep blues, this beautiful sort of lavender. And then even in these shadows, in the negative space, there's still a lot of blue and purple happening here. So, you know, even the green is very colored in the shadows with blue. That's beautifully done. It looks like a different world, some sort of magical reflection happening here in this sort of message in a bottle. This is the only way I could describe it, the vibe I got. I love that it lands, and then it's just like this upside down world as we come into it. And again, this still looks like a fantasy world, as I said, but without the analogous colors. We're now in this sort of, you know, daybreak color scheme. It's a lot more natural. And this just looks like a magical world. Like, what are these colors? We do not have these colors in our world, right, in nature. So it's really cool to make that transition. But I still think maybe one of my favorite parts is just when the vocals hit right here. Listen to this. Beautiful, beautiful paintings too. I love it. It's really like our introduction to the world. Like, we're sailing into the world. I love the timpani. Do you guys hear that? You hear that timpani drums? That huge, oh, so beautiful. It's an underused instrument. This is one of the reasons I love Nobuo Uematsu, by the way. It says use of the timpani is prestigious. Anyways, who agrees? Oh. Yeah, I love it. It gives it that little bit of just like rich sort of storied feeling as she goes through. And it's like, these are the deeds that this hero achieved to achieve that statue, you know, to earn that. Yeah, and that transition is great too. The kite coming down. And that imagery is just consistent throughout. The kite even matching the same color as the flower. Now this part with the dragon eye is just insane. I mean, just look at the painting, man. That's what we gotta appreciate, guys. Look at this image. It's so beautifully done, and we have a lot of other elements like the sort of petals floating in the air and the kites and then the boat moving. But this just as a background painting is so beautifully done. I mean, the use of color is just absolutely fantastic. And as we talked about analogous colors before, well, now we're going to talk about complementary colors on the chromatic circle, which are happening here. That's why that face pops so nicely. And they've also achieved that sense of depth in the painting where you can really understand that that is underwater. It's a lot to convey, man. Look at the size of the people too. This monumental statue, even far beyond the other one of the woman. Yeah, beautiful work. But I love how they place the greens now against this sort of like pink color. It's really, really striking. That's what's cool about it, is it looks real. This is how light would behave in the world with sun. Oh, look at the lines of the reflections of the water and stuff. It's really masterful. But they still make it beautiful. And they know how to, okay, let's use photoreal lighting in the painting, but make it beautifully storyboarded and to tell a story in its own, the color. I gotta get this song, man. This is a good song. The wind is calling your name. I wanted to listen. It's beautiful. Is there, let's see if we can get the lyrics on here. Yeah, there we go. Let's look at the details now in the lyrics. Silver tears. Beautiful. This is also one of my favorites. Yeah, I love this. Again, this is what I got from it. I'd love to hear what you guys get from it. This is the beauty of art. There is no wrong answer, right? But this is what I get, really. He's seeing, we've noticed this sort of messenger to the next step, to the next people, the petals and the flower flying on to the next person, the connection. To me, it really speaks like, you know, this kid is going to carry, I don't even think it's supposed to be his child. It's like there's another step beyond me. And look at that. This is a great frame. I love that. That to me almost was like he's wearing a mask. Again, lore masters, help me out here. You know, piggyback off me, lore masters, help me out. Let me know if I'm right. Like he's got a mask on of this, probably a deity or some sort of spirit. And then he looks at the kid in the mask, and it's almost like he has a transcendental experience with the mask, as if he's communing with the spirit or with the god or the deity. You know what I mean? That's what I get from it. And then it's like he has this vision of something beyond. Right? That's what I get from it. It's, oh man, chills. It's a vision of something greater, and I think that character might be representative of the mask. I mean, look at that. Such a great frame, man. So well done. And again, back to this really, really stylistic colors. Not that the whole thing isn't stylized, but this analogous colors are back, man. And it's almost like this strange penumbra world that they're experiencing, you know, on top of this fantasy world. So cool. It's every time the chorus hits of the song, boom, and it comes into it just like that. I mean, come on, the feeling that they're achieving, and yep. So good. Pray I reappear, and then we have the going back up through the layers. It's just, it's beautiful. Oh, wait a second. Okay, she's placing a lantern. I've rarely seen wind this well depicted in animation. It's beautiful work. But this is so interesting. It comes from another place, far beyond. Yeah, another place. Beyond. There you go. That's the perfect word for it, right? Spirit blossom from beyond, so to speak. Also, what is the season 2 stuff? Isn't it season like 97 or something? I love it, guys. Let me know your thoughts on it. I think this was absolutely fantastic. Definitely one of my favorite League ones. I also like that League is not afraid. I mean, look at the Studio Fortiche work with Arcane. Compared to this, it's a completely different visual style, a completely different animation technology is being employed here. It's just so interesting. They're not afraid to say, let's try this, let's try that. I mean, and even look at the KDA videos, or I should say the second batch of KDA videos that don't look like the Fortiche signature style. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it, man. Like I said, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more, or just click on the videos. We got a League of Legends playlist in here somewhere. Let me find it. Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure always to hang out and cover these. And make sure to hop in Discord. Make sure to follow on Twitch. Make sure to check out my couples channel with my fiancé, who cosplayed Mel, the best Mel cosplay ever, naturally. Check it out. I'll talk to you guys very soon.